guys, it's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Yes, I know, a little bit of red in the markets today. Now, we have had an amazing month and a half to start off this year, essentially non-stop gains day after day. So we're having a little bit of a pullback. Bitcoin is under $10,000. Well, what can I say? Profits are being taken. But that being said, do notice that a lot of the altcoins are actually in the deeper red. Now, if you're new to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, you will notice that, yes, altcoins can absolutely super outpace Bitcoin, but they also tend to have a little bit harder pullbacks when Bitcoin does have a correction, right? You can see, however, that Bitcoin has sort of stabilized around the $9,900 level. We got all the way down to $9,750. So, of course, we're going to go into price action today, but I want to talk about something specifically. I want to talk about a major catalyst for Bitcoin, something that could potentially even be bigger than the halving. Yes, I said it, guys, and this could really be the ultimate push that we need, not only for Bitcoin adoption, but also for, well, Bitcoin price explosion, right? I do want to get into that today. Also, I have an awesome clip from Eric Voorhees. You're definitely going to want to stick around for that. But today's video is honestly just going to be super quick, ultimately fast. I know it's Sunday. You guys probably got things you want to do. However, I do have to mention today is the last day for the Ledger Nano S. If you're interested, drop a comment below and you are eligible. And also, before we move on, I want to ask you guys one thing, just before we get to the charts. What are you doing right now? Are you currently holding Bitcoin? Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you panicking right now? I'm actually going to drop a poll above, okay? Just let me know. I want to know what you guys are doing right now, because lots of people are a little bit confused what they should be doing. Some people are hopping into altcoins. Some people are, I don't know. Just let me know what you guys are doing. But let's get on. Let's move on to the chart. So Bitcoin dominance, 62.1%. Actually pumped up a little bit higher previously, having a little bit of a pullback. Lots of red today in the market. Having a look at anything that's up today. FTX token 5%, Chainlink 4.3%, OKB 0.7, and that's about it on the first page, guys. So not really a great day unless you're holding one of these three cryptos, essentially. But you can see right here that we were in this beautiful uptrend. We finally got rejected at the $10,000, almost $550 level. We did have this sort of, BART sort of dump right here, but we've had some nice support and a nice bounce back, actually, off the $9,854 level. Now, we are going to have some resistance right here, as we move forward. And, if we get to the end of the apex, well, that's basically looking around February 18th. We're going to have that really crunch time for Bitcoin. But I do want to mention one thing that's pretty positive. We are still above the basis of the Bollinger Bands. That's that pink line you can see right there. As long as we're above it, it's generally short-term bullish. Once we start to fall below it, well, then you do risk the possibility of falling a lot lower. Also, another thing I want to point out is we got supported right here, essentially at the heart line of the ascending wedge that we had previously. So we're still supporting, we're still respecting, the support, which is actually pretty good. We are still in the blue zone, had a nice bounce off the top heart, right? You can see right here. If we do fall below the basis, then we do risk falling maybe to the $9,000 level. Having a look at the VPVR, though, we do have a massive drop off around 9.3, with the next area of major support around 8.7K, which for all of you that think we do have to close the CME futures gap means that, well, we would close the gap. However, I do want to point out that we did close over the weekend at $10,495, which means that when we open, there's going to be a gap above, which means there's a good chance we may pump to fill the gap. Now, don't think that means we're going to skyrocket. I mean, I've seen literally we could just pump, fill the gap, and continue dumping. Could be a good opportunity if you're trading, though, to make some quick flips, but be safe out there because it's probably going to be very volatile coming this Monday. Now, you can see right here we are still well above the green line. We could potentially fall down to 9.3K, still be bullish in my opinion. Having a look over here, we need to stay above the $9,600 level at the end of the month, though, okay? Like short term, I don't mind if we fall to 9.3. By the end of the month, we really need to close above 9.6K, or else we're just going to basically continue this downtrend. And, well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but, if we end up putting something, like this triangle that we had back here, and we just end up falling into another giant triangle, well, that could risk Bitcoin literally falling back down to the Yeah, well, it would be really bad. Let's not go there. But if we do get back down to the 6.4K level, then yeah, but that's going to be terrible. And if that was to happen for Bitcoin, that would be absolutely devastating.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Crypto logic.
I don't think that's what's going to happen, guys. Noticing right here, Bitcoin dominance is still kind of bouncing off this level that we've had right here around the 62%, support. So that's why you're seeing the altcoins fall a little bit harder and super quick. People were asking about Ethereum. We did reach the $266 level that we had talked about yesterday. And I did say if we were to fall to the next support, that would be, I said yesterday it was around $245. I'm actually going to change my tune today. We actually could fall a little bit lower to like maybe 238, 240. So it's only a couple dollars, but just being realistic, there's a little bit more room if Ethereum was to take a pullback more. But that being said, we need to talk about the good news, the massive news. Some of you may have already guessed it if you follow this channel, but if anyone who's new, yes, I'm talking about the bakkt app. Now I'm going to go into this. I know you've heard about it, but I want to talk specifically why this thing is going to be explosive, in my opinion, for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency adoption. Now, the first part we just have to get out of the way is that this app is looking to launch by the first half of this year. They haven't given any specific date, so yeah, it could launch in June, July, but it could even come out before the halving. That is possible, right? Now, scrolling down here, they did an interview with Fortune. They were giving a little bit of insight into what the app could look like, and they're saying that consumers are going to have essentially a digital credit card, kind of like Apple Pay, that's going to be able to make purchases wherever it is accepted. Now, you might be saying, well, doesn't my crypto have a card? Yes, they do, but my crypto only works with just cryptocurrencies, right? But if you're using this, you'll have a lot more options. So the truly groundbreaking idea, check this out, is that merchants could integrate with the bakkt app in order to receive direct payments, right? So this is going to sort of outperform things maybe like the Lightning Network, right? Where you have to like set up a node and there's a lot of steps involved. They're saying banks and credit card companies usually take around 2.5% of every retail card transaction, and bakkt is saying that they're going to have a significantly lower fee. I don't know what the fee is, but this is going to be pretty enticing for merchants, right? But that's not all. They're also working with Bridge2 Solutions, which, if you guys are not aware, is a leading provider of loyalty services for merchants and customers. Now, Bridge2 facilitates reward programs for 7 of the top 10 financial institutions. It's not their first rodeo. Let's just say that. Okay, they have 4,500 loyalty, incentive, and employee perk programs across a broad spectrum of corporations. Bridge2 is already piloting Loyalty Pay, which allows users to pay for retail goods and services with universal reward points. You're probably wondering, what does this have to do with Bitcoin? Stick with me, we're getting there. Bakkt brings this to the next level by making it possible to exchange reward points for cryptocurrencies. Basically, airline miles, hotel points could be used to accumulate Bitcoin over time. Now think about this. Have you ever just participated in a reward program that you don't really care about too much, and you have these rewards and they're sitting there, but you don't really know what to do with them? Well, now you have the option to basically convert it into Bitcoin, right? Now keep in mind, people that usually would have never had any Bitcoin exposure, they would have never wanted to go through the loopholes of signing up for a Coinbase account or maybe, trying to do something on localbitcoins.com, right? Now they're just going to have a little button that says, hey, you want to convert it to Bitcoin? Sure. Why not, right? You know what's going to happen when they do that? Well, they're going to see the price fluctuation, the volatility. They're going to see the price probably start to go up, like most of us did, and got more interested, and this is going to allow more people to get involved. Now, keep in mind, they also mentioned that in-game assets, items in video games like swords, right, like different kinds of weapons, maybe potions, clothing, stuff like that, will be also tradable. Okay, so you could take these digital assets, you could store them, and then you can swap them out for different types of rewards, maybe a gift card, you can invest in stocks, right, or Bitcoin. Essentially, the bakkt app has the potential to be the ultimate digital asset exchange. This could increase crypto adoption via video game users, loyalty reward programs, and people interested in gift cards. I think we kind of covered that already, but I'm just reading from what they're saying. So basically, if the bakkt app becomes highly popular, okay, it will help interconnect the crypto community with the 1.2 trillion global digital asset economy. Do I need to say that again? Do I need to say that again, guys? Think about the exposure if this app was to actually take on, right? Or actually get adopted. Now, keep in mind, it does require merchants to actually integrate with the system. This is a little bit of a barrier, but let's be honest. Which one do you think is going to have more of a barrier to overcome? Setting up a node, locking funds away, having Lightning Network, or just downloading an app on your phone? Right? So that is the big kicker, guys. And also, I just wanted to point out on a side note, Bitcoin adoption is definitely growing. You can see now we have 6,835 ATMs across the world. You might say, well, that's not a lot. But guys, it's over 2x in just the past, few years. And yeah, 4,869 of these ATMs are located in the US alone, which is actually pretty incredible when you think about it. So let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'm pretty excited about this. Am I getting overexcited? Should I not be excited about? I mean, I'm pretty excited because I really think that the easier we make it, the simpler we make it for the everyday average person to use it. Talk about downloading an app. I mean, not only is this going to be totally revolutionary for just commerce in general, even if you don't talk about Bitcoin as far as the app is concerned, but now you're going to have the option to actually swap out some of these loyalty points for Bitcoin. Absolutely incredible. But if you're still not convinced on the value of Bitcoin and what Bitcoin has to offer, well, I want to play this video of Eric Voorhees. This came out last year. Shout out to the Bitcoin and Crypto Street, by the way. Definitely check them out. But I do want to just play this clip for you guys. It's about 6 minutes. You are not going to feel You're going to feel like you definitely got some value out of this. You're definitely going to want to watch this clip. Now, this, to give you a little bit of a context, was when he was having a bit of an argument, or actually debate, with Peter Schiff, the gold bug who lost his Bitcoin password. So I want to play this, and hopefully after these 6 minutes, you truly understand the value of Bitcoin and why I personally believe in Bitcoin long term, even over all of these other Bitcoin spin-offs, altcoins, and et cetera, why I still do hold so much value in Bitcoin. So definitely check this out.
First of all, I think we should cover for a second this idea that Bitcoin has no intrinsic value. This is a word, this intrinsic value, that I think a lot of Austrians have struggled with for quite some time. Nothing has intrinsic value. Intrinsic value is a meaningless term because value has to be subjective in the eyes of the valuer. Something that you think is intrinsically valuable, for example, like water, because all of us have to drink it, is only valuable if there's a human there that's thirsty. If there's a human there that's not thirsty, the water is not valuable at all. Before humans roamed the earth, gold had zero value whatsoever. There was no species or no sentient life that thought that that mineral was valuable to them. So value is subjective. Value comes when the person doing the valuing finds a good reason or purpose for that thing to use. This is true of gold. This is true of Bitcoin. Second, if there is such a thing as intrinsic value for the sake of argument, Bitcoin's intrinsic value, in this sense, comes from its payment network. And Satoshi did an injustice, I think, to the system by calling both the payment network itself and the unit of account, the currency, both have the name of Bitcoin. The payment network is the only way in the world that you can send a transaction to someone else in a decentralized way where no one can stop it, between any two people on Earth, no border whatsoever. It cannot be censored, and it is really cheap to actually do it. If that isn't valuable, then I don't know what is. Now, you may say it's not worth the price that Bitcoins are going for today, and that would be a valid argument. But to say that that system, which was the first in history to allow two people at distance to transact with each other, is not valuable, flies in the face of reason. Second, let's talk about volatility for a second. You are totally right that Bitcoin's current volatility would make it a very poor use of day-to-day money today. I will see that point absolutely. But volatility is not an aspect of Bitcoin which is intrinsic to it. In other words, volatility is what happens when the market is trying to decide on its value. Bitcoin is new, it is small. Over time, it will achieve stability, just as it has. When I got involved in 2011, it would move 50% in a day. Today, it's a big deal when it moves 10%. And I think 10 years from now, it'll be a big deal when it moves 2 or 3%. Stability as a market asset is earned with time. You cannot design something to be stable. So while Bitcoin is definitely too volatile today, I think that problem is self-correcting. Next, I want to address the multiple coins as inflation argument, which is that Bitcoin's not really scarce because there's all sorts of coins that can be replicated from it. Just as gold is scarce, and I can't make the claim that there are other metals and thus gold is not scarce, I don't think that you can make the claim that just because there are other cryptos that means Bitcoin is not scarce. You can copy the code, but the code is not the network. You cannot copy the hash power of the miners. You cannot copy the infrastructure of all the wallets and all the companies that operate on the Bitcoin network. You cannot copy the brand, actually. You cannot copy that reputation that Bitcoin has earned in time. And we don't need to debate this on a theoretical level. We have actually seen this happening. So when we last debated, Peter, a few years ago in late 2013, there was about $10 billion as the entire market cap of Bitcoin. And all the alts, everything other than Bitcoin put together, was about $1 billion. According to your theory, if more blockchains happened and more alts came out, and more money even went into those alts, the market cap of Bitcoin itself should decline. Yet what we've seen is that alts have exploded. They're now $150 billion in value. And Bitcoin also has increased in value. It's now $110 billion in market cap. So if it was true that more coins and blockchains would debase the value of Bitcoin, the market cap of Bitcoin should be far less than it is today. And this doesn't have to be a mystery to anyone. A clone of Bitcoin's code is not a clone of Bitcoin. And then the last thing, so you, I think, are suggesting again that gold is really the way to have a modern society based on honest money. I would absolutely prefer that the world use gold than to use fiat. And I, again, am a big fan of gold, and I understand why it's valuable and why it's useful. But the point remains that it is not practical for commerce unless you are trusting some counterparty. And you, of all people, Peter, know that governments will not allow something to compete with their form of value if they can stop it. So if you want a market-based system of money that doesn't get shut down when it grows past the size of a novelty, it has to be decentralized. It cannot have an individual person or company or vault that can be seized. If that's what you have, then you will never actually have a free market financial system because the government simply will not allow it. Gold indeed was confiscated in the 30s. This is not some crazy idea. And even though gold worked very well in 19th century America, people weren't doing online commerce in 19th century America. The world has changed to some degree. It doesn't mean that the principles of money have changed, but it does mean that the form of money in today's economy that works the best may have changed. So with that, I'll leave it.
So on that note, I don't really think there's much else to say. Couldn't have said it better than Eric himself. Also, not to mention the Bitcoin network has been functional for 99.98% of its time. It was down for 8 hours in 2010 and 6 hours in 2013. And both of these had to do with maintenance upgrades. And ever since then, it's pretty much just been going and going and going, just like the Energizer Bunny. They still do those commercials? I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit too old. Oh yeah, and one bit of news. Binance Futures is launching perpetual contracts for NEO. And on that note, I think that's enough for today. Definitely get subscribed if you haven't. Click that bell notification if you want to get these updates right away. We are giving away a Ledger Nano S tomorrow. Drop a comment if you are interested. And yeah, what's up? What are we doing? Still just kind of bouncing around. So could be a very, very interesting Sunday into Monday, right? We're going to have that CME gap. We're probably going to have some crazy volatility. Be safe out there, guys. Dollar cost averaging is your best friend if you are looking to trade. Just be safe. That's all I'm saying, guys. So yeah, all of the information will be below. Timestamps always below. Probably should have said that in the beginning. Thank you so much again for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. That being said, my name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Till next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.